It's like, here, I'll just show you. Like, I know exactly where I'm going now. Ta-da!
Perfect.
Stage.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
Eva, thank you so much for your time.
Hi.
You know, you're running around like crazy backstage on tours and so on.
Yeah,
You have to do
welcome to
promotion
the tour
as
life.
well. Exactly. But
everybody's
hey,
getting the stage ready right now, so we're good. I found a decent hidey hole. I think we should be good.
good. But hey, you know, based on some stories you shared from back in the day, hopefully this tour, no surprise, you know, microphones that aren't working and shows that only last 2 songs and stuff like that.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was from years ago. Thankfully, we have not, but that was it was quite the moment. Yeah, no, this Bush tour definitely treats us much better. Way less problems when their team is just so well oiled, and they also are just so kind. Everybody on this tour is so wonderful to work with. So truly, even if we do have a problem, it's minimal and we just move past it. So we're better self-contained now as well. So I think that this is the tour we needed to elevate our game for sure.
Late night drive out on the run, a couple young guns getting wild and crazy.
Let's just take a moment and go like, because this has been a bit of a roller coaster that you're on for some time now, and with this tour it isn't stopping, but with, let's call it Eva Under Fire 2.0, like how different is the experience for you right now? Because as somebody looking from the outside in, it definitely feels that there's a whole different strategy and plan for this band that you know, if I was speaking to you 5 years ago, it would have been very, very different. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, absolutely. World's different, right? 5 years ago, we were just releasing our own stuff, DIY, trying to get as far as we could. We did get 20 hours from home, which is cool. We did like a bar gig tour, 10-day run, right? But touring for 6 weeks, that's that's a different experience, yeah. And some of the biggest stages that we've stepped on. So I feel like we have definitely gotten better. We've grown as musicians and as performers. I guess the next is to try and grow as songwriters. So we're getting ready to, this wraps up the album cycle super nicely, right? I did promise my mother that I would be home for Christmas. So there's that. We have to go home at some point, but we're having a great time out here.
Gonna be savage, this is our song. Gonna be untouchable, unstoppable.
You're about to leave the very fancy ballroom style American theaters and in lieu for dirty Canadian hockey arenas.
Let's go.
Pretty grimy. Good for an energetic show and a lot of moshing there. But you already mentioned it earlier. You guys, you're hard to categorize, and that is good. I think you are part of this, and I'm gonna call it a new wave of, and I mean this, you know, with all respect, you know, poppier bands, but that still, you know, channel that metal and metalcore influences. It's interesting because you guys, if you listen to the music, if you read the lyrics, if you dig a little deeper, there's darkness there's very serious themes, but you package it up in a way that people can party to. Is that sometimes weird for you as an entertainer who's front and stage who works with the audience, and you see that audience having a good time while you guys are channeling some dark demons at times? Is that a weird balance?
I don't think so. Here's why. I feel like each song is its own space, right?
Okay.
So some songs are darker than others. So we leave room for that in the performance as well, right? We kind of are cognizant about that mood and that energy and how to move through it when we're performing live, right? So we're not going to put a really, really downer song, something sad and heavy, like right next to some of our, you know, pop, right? Unless we do it intentionally, and then we tell them, you know, thank you for sharing your heart with us, right? Let's crank it up, right? And then the energy shifts, right? And so it's just, I think as long as you're addressing that with the people who are having fun with you, and everybody in the room is, is into it, and they kind of know what to anticipate in that way. But sometimes it's fun to even take them by surprise as well. I think we do that with some of our covers that we play live. So I wouldn't say it's odd. No, everything for me has its own place.
Baby, I'm about to blow, kicking like a time bomb.
Now you mentioned before, like, yeah, this is a different approach, and you know, it is, you know, Eva Under Fire 2.0, even to the extent that when people like myself get press materials, you know, your press team talk about Love, Drugs, and Misery as the debut album. So is there like a clear line that has been drawn and we shouldn't look back?
I think rock fans always do deep dives. So I will say you can deep dive all day long for Eva Under Fire. The old stuff is still good stuff, but it's old stuff, right? That's our baby days when we were like, you know, we wrote whatever we wanted, did whatever we wanted, just because, and we didn't really know what we wanted. So there was all kinds of stuff on those albums. But it is the debut album in the sense that, in a professional way, this is the first album that was released worldwide, right? And had a major label sort of push, and you know, all this was done very intentionally. So I think, and that was the catalyst for stepping on these big stages, right? Which is important to us. And so I think in many ways, it's true to say debut album. That doesn't mean that it's the first one.
As you guys are getting on that bigger stage, both in a literal and a metaphorical perspective, and you're seeing that traction out there, you've had, you know, the help and the support of some, you know, really interesting people that collaborated with you guys, and that has definitely helped you, you know, put your brand out there. I'm just thinking about people like Spencer and Cory. But now that things are kind of taking off, do you then also feel like a little bit of almost like an accountability of paying it forward yourself? Like do you keep tabs on what's new and upcoming, and try to help promote or guide those newer bands?
I definitely interact with newer bands. Like I feel like it's also good, you know, I don't want to be so altruistic to say paying it forward either, because those new and up and comers might, you know, do something special. And then if you guys are friends, it helps me too, right?
Exactly.
So there's I think it's a really cool thing when you can just say what you like and go after what you like and make friends along the way, you know, no matter where that friend is in their career, you know, because you never know how, especially in the entertainment industry, everything shifts, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I think the short answer is yes, I pay attention to up and comers, just because I think it's cool to have new friends.
I'm about to blow, ticking like a time bomb, ready to explode.
Now you mentioned, oh, you know, when we're on stage, you know, we'll throw in a cover here and there, and people go like, oh, obviously a lot of people have found you also through some of those covers. The Journey cover did really well, and you know, it also just was really cool. Your voice stands out amongst a sea of female-fronted, you know, metal bands. There's a warmth to your song. There's an 80s, you know, Bonnie Tyler, Stevie Nicks vibe to that. Something that we don't usually expect when we talk about, you know, oh, here's a new metalcore or metalcore-inspired band. Will it stay part of the DNA of the band to you know, reimagine some of those classics, or should we really focus on, hey, everything that's Eva Under Fire now?
I don't think that that's something that would leave because of a new record, right?
Right.
I think, if anything, what we might see is that it shows up in new ways, right?
Yeah.
So that's a thing, you know. Ultimately, I think you mentioned we're difficult to categorize, and I kind of like that because it's fun for me. We have, you know, this pop melody, right? I'm very influenced by pop vocals. I grew up, and I'm a 90s kid, right? So I grew up listening to all of those pop singers, and that's really where you heard a lot of female vocals. You didn't hear a lot of female voices.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In rock and metal, right? To take influence from. But yet we still have guitar riffs and guitar solos, so nobody knows what to do with us.
There you go.
Right? But I still think it will absolutely show up. You know, I think it's mostly in the tone of my voice, right? Well, how people perceive what's being played. Maybe it would be different if we added some, you know, different styles and more production. I think that would be fun to expand on, see what she can do, open her up.
Here we stand, worlds apart, hearts broken.
Does that mean that you would, like, for example, Bush is taking you on tour right now, which is a fantastic band, iconic post-grunge band. But, just to put a completely different extreme out there, a band like Lorna Shore could bring you on tour as well. Would you, in those different settings, would you cater your show to that headliner's audience? Like, because we can see a softer side of you and we can see a harder side of you, or will you be like, no, it doesn't matter who we're playing for, they're gonna get, the Eva Under Fire experience, which is very defined?
I struggle to say that it's defined. I really do. I don't think anything is really defined, right? You have to know your audience, and you have to kind of like, I think it's fun to show different sides of yourself up there. So I would say probably like 10 or 15% we would shift it this way or that way, depending on who we play with, right? A couple more heavy songs versus a couple more lighter songs. That kind of thing, for sure.
I know that you're on a time schedule here, so I'll wrap it up with a question. You mentioned earlier that you had to promise your mom that you'd be home for Christmas. So Christmas is getting close. This year, Christmas singles still to be expected, like we used to, or what should we keep our eyes open for?
I think I would share it around. I think I would share it around. If there's people that are interested in Eva Under Fire Christmas things, I got vinyls on pre-order right now. We'll probably still get it before Christmas. Just saying. But other than that, I don't have any special releases. Maybe I'll get on, a TikTok thing and do some acoustic fun thing. But other than that, we're so busy with tour. I'm gonna just go home and try to see if I can have time to put up my tree and sleep. Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, hey, I hope that you haven't like Spinal Tap walked your way underneath the stage and no clue where to get out anymore. That you still find the stage in time.
I do. It definitely is. Like, here, I'll just show you. Like, I know exactly where I'm going now. Ta-da!
Perfect.
Stage.
Look at that. Fantastic.
See, I'm not lost, but thank you for your concern, because sometimes I absolutely get lost.
Well, I hope that you're safe from any major Spinal Tap issues, so that you do get home safe for the holidays, and that you can sleep and do whatever you want to do that you can't do while on tour. Eva, thank you so much for your time. Again, I know these are super hectic days, and you probably just want to go calm down and warm up at the same time instead of talking to people like me. So I do appreciate it so much. Can't wait to see you guys play those Canadian shows tomorrow, I think, starting.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is going to be a lot of fun. And
Canada fans, let's go, let's bounce.
Exactly.
I am excited because I get to, you mentioned relaxation, and the way that I kind of relax on tour is like the green tea and then kind of paint my face with the makeup thing. So I have my Zen moments. Definitely will go participate in that now. But talking to people like you truly is so much fun, because you're asking me about my band. I love it out here. We love it out here. And I want people to come to the show. So you're helping us kind of stoke that fire, get the excitement going. So cheers to you and what you do. So I appreciate that. And thanks for your time and for having me.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.